It all began with my friends, Brent Maddock and Steve Wilson, a number of years ago. It's been over 10 years now, that we wanted to make a movie together. We had been making educational films together, and Steve had this wacky idea that he called Landshark.
The very original idea for Tremors, the fragment that kicked it all off, I came up with a number of years ago when I was working for the Navy. I was editing films for the Navy, but I was doing this out in the middle of the desert in California, where they have a base where they test things. And on the weekends I would go off and wander around out on the ranges when they weren't shooting at them. And I was climbing rocks one day, and I was sitting up on a rock, and I made a note and scrap of paper. What if there was something under the ground and I couldn't get off this rock? And that note just sat in a file folder then for a number of years. And later, Brent and I sold Short Circuit, and our agent, Nancy Roberts, sat us down and said, okay, now, get all those old ideas out of your file folders. And we got a number of them out, and she picked about 3 of them to really pursue and develop, and one of them was what we then started calling Landsharks. After that time, actually, Saturday Night Live started doing the character Landshark, so we dispensed with that title, that working title. And then it just went through many permutations after that.
And we took the idea around to various studios and pitched it. And people would stare at us blankly and like, what what kind of movie would this be with underground monsters that we called graboids? They didn't quite get it. It's because it's a tonal balancing act too. It was a hard movie to describe in a short paragraph or two. So Nancy encouraged Brent and Steve to write the screenplay so that we would have something on paper to actually show people that we did have an idea about what this movie would be like. And Nancy took it to Gail Ann Hurd, who executive produced the movie. And she responded to the material immediately, and she came out of low-budget filmmaking as we all did, so she really understood that we knew how to make this kind of movie. And the idea for the movie came from a very low-budget idea to take a monster that's invisible most of the movie because it's underground. And so we, with Gail, we went to Universal Studios, and overnight, literally, they said yes.
Since this was our first feature, we really, Steve and I as producers, we were involved with everything, with casting, with finding the locations, with the costumes, with really every aspect of the film.
We bugged everybody about everything.
Yeah, and it was fun. And I mean, Ron was great too. Ron was really gracious in having us be involved in a way that a lot of directors would not allow, producers to be. So it was fun. It was a real collaboration, and it worked well. And I think one of the things we had to learn in the process of making the film was there was only so far we could go. I think at some point you got to step back and let Ron direct the movie.
Yeah.